very warm welcome to today's IFR flight that will see us departing from our last week's alternate, Rifle Garfield County. And today we'll be heading more westward to Canyonlands Regional, which is the airport sitting right next to the city of Moab, which is a gateway to the Arches National Park. Weather-wise, the only actual thing are the METARs and TAFs. So let's see that, and then we'll go to aviation weather and check there. So we have, this is obviously almost an hour long. We had perfect visibility, clear skies, which in the simulator there are some clouds, but probably high enough. We have 3 degrees Celsius and dew point -1, altimeter 3002. And the forecast for this time is for some broken clouds at 6,000 feet. And this is already too late because these from groups are valid from the day 6, which is tomorrow, and from 2 o'clock. So that's about 2 o'clock Zulu, that's about 7 hours from now, something like that. So we can expect that there will be some clouds. Our destination current conditions, there's a broken layer at 7,500, and the forecast calls for a broken layer at 8,000 feet. Temperature-wise, it's 8 degrees and -2 dew point. Altimeter is slightly less than our departure. If I go over to the aviation weather side, first I have the current conditions. This we already reviewed in the METARs. There is a field in the middle of the route, and the weather conditions are quite similar to our departure. I'll check the clouds. This is much clearer than it looked like in the morning, so we would be able to do a visual flight as well, as far as I can see. Even the forecasts seem to be good enough for our path. But since I've already prepared an IFR flight and we do very few of them, let's continue with that. So we will have an IFR flight with the added bonus of actually seeing outside, which is also good. I want to point out, and let's go to the temperature scale, that, for example, at 12,000 feet, you can see from the color that the temperature should be between -10 and -15. And that means if you do happen to enter the cloud, you can count with some icing. So I seriously suggest, just so we can make a flight, just to disable icing in the simulator and be aware of that. Had it been in real life, you should not be entering any clouds. And if the weather was as was forecasted in the morning, then the flight would not be really available because of the clouds. Winds at 12,000 feet, we have a nice and steady headwind, as is our custom at this point. The only advantage of that is that we will enjoy the flight a little bit longer. So I have nothing against that, and we will have more time for everything, for preparation and so forth before the approach. So that's good. The surface winds, and that's something I've kind of glossed over in the METAR, but we will check that when we in a minute. It's kind of variable, I would say. There is no way how to forecast what the wind will be. Probably it will be a westerly wind on our destination, and probably westerly wind on our departure. The METAR says that the wind is currently 160 and 3 knots, and verbatim variable 3 knots again. So that's very light wind. we have there. So then what else? Turbulence, do we have any problems there? At 12,000 feet, we might expect some, what this color is, maybe light turbulence, or that's actually for light aircraft, maybe light to moderate turbulence that we can expect. And this warning here, we have airmet turbulence, low severity, yeah, low probability, and the moderate severity, and the top is at 18,000 feet. We will fly below that. So weather-wise, that's quite it. And then we'll go for just real brief introduction of our airfields. This is Rifle Garfield County. It's attended continuously. There are some warnings about snowstorms that can be there, and that airport opens before all taxiways are cleared and so on. It's a cold temperature airport. That means that if the temperature reported on the field is below -14 Celsius, then we need to use the cold temperature tables when arriving at the airport to correct our altimeter readings. From what I could gather from the airport remarks, this airport, even though it's untowered airport, will have someone there that would provide maybe IFR clearance or some other services, then because there is a warning or note that proper dual radio use, ATC and CTAF, is essential for safe and efficient traffic flow. So I think that although you need to use the CTAF frequency for like communicating uh, like normal at untowered field, there might be some additional layer of ATC that's usually required here. Really not applicable to the simulator. So maybe I'm talking nonsense. Hopefully not. Then our destination airport. If I check the uh, remarks, parachute jumping, yes, don't expect to see many. Paya on and in vicinity of airport, primarily south of hangars. I don't really know what Paya is. Maybe it's this parachute jumping. Seems like it. South of the hangar, so probably like in this area that they will be jumping. Avoid OTFC. I tried to decipher that. Maybe it's overflying traffic. Avoid overflying traffic midfield. So maybe that we should not like doing the standard, overflying of the airport. And runway 1533 and taxiway Bravo is close to aircraft and then opens. So again, not really clear what that means. But anyway, route planning. Here, this is like the already planned route, but let's just go through the planning, how I would tackle that. So when I plan like IFR route from one airport to the other, I start with entering the departure and destination, and then I look how does it look like. Here I can see that we have Victor 8 quite close to our route, and so I plan to use that. And then I need to review what kind of approach and departure I can make if this Victor 8 makes any sense. For example, there might be a departure that will actually put us here on the Victor 134. So in that case, doesn't really make sense to plan Victor 8 until we are at Grand Junction VOR. So for that, I'll just close everything here and I will open the first airport, is this one, and I look for the departures. As I already hinted, the weather is good enough for VFR departure, so we don't really need to use these departure procedures as such. And this is again something that I don't have an answer for, and if there is anybody else that does, please enlighten me. The thing is that the SIDs, so standard instrument departures, which this Eduki 5 and URIC 5 are, you can see departure procedure charts. Those should be only assignable by ATC, but there is no ATC on this field. So I think that what this means is that you can get these SITs as your clearance, even though the airport is untowered. It's probably the first time I see that, but that might be just uh, just a coincidence that it is the first time for me to see something like that. Because normally you will have only departure procedures obstacle, so departure obstacle procedures (DPO). If I review this Eduki 5 and URIC 5, those are both for runway 32, I believe. 32. No, sorry, runway 8. Yeah, doesn't have runway 32, does it? So those are for both for runway 8, and it gets you to Eduki. And if you check Eduki, I believe it will be here. So from runway 8, it will take you like this to Eduki, and from runway the other one, I can't really calculate right now, 26, it will take you directly westward to Squat, and Squat is on Victor 8. If you notice, it tries to avoid this kind of area here, and if I switch to the Denver chart, you can see why. There are mountains, so either you fly between those or you fly north of this one. Both departures, both the obstacle departure procedure and the SID are RNF procedures. So if you want to fly that, you need to have RNF capable aircraft and avionics. To really fly that because the visual conditions are good enough. In any case, Squat is our entry point. So what I would do is I would just drive this to Squat and add it to plan. As you can see, it already adds the departure procedure, Squat 5. And then I'll look at the arrival airport destination, scroll down, and we have two approaches. We have RNF runway 3 and VOR Alpha. Today I will brief VOR Alpha. If you want me to brief that afterwards, just let me know if you plan. And for this VOR Alpha, I can see that Arch is one of the, it's not the initial approach fix because it doesn't have the words IAF next to it, but it has a path, it has a MEA, minimum en route altitude, it has a course, and it has a distance. So this makes this segment a flyable segment, and it's called something like, it's called a feeder route because it feeds into the approach. So we can use that. We can use that, fly to Moab VOR, and then all the way to Thole, which is already initial approach fix. So I'll go back to the plan and I'll add Arch in my plan. And now you can see it's snapped to the Victor 8, and my flight plan will be Squat 5 to Squat, and then Victor 8 to Arch. And that's it. As far as altitude goes, I need to go back to the departure, and let's see what it says to me. First of all, we have some takeoff minimums. So the visual conditions are standard, and minimum climb of 431 feet per nautical mile, all the way to 9,800 feet. So this is something we need to adhere to. Last time I was going through the climb and descent tables, and I was calculating my ability to climb at 630 feet per nautical mile to a higher altitude. So for my aircraft, I'm confident that I can do so. And departure route description, it says, it basically describes this lateral path, but it also adds at the end that I should maintain 10,600 or as assigned. So this is basically the obstacle departure procedure. telling me that at squat I should have at least 10,600. If I look at this Victor 8 airway, I can see that from rifle VOR all the way to squat, we have the minimum en route altitude 13,200 feet. But from squat, it changes. You can see that there's this T section. So whenever the fix has this, is like the path is ended with this T section and starts, that means that the MEA, minimum en route altitude, is changing. And here it changes from 13,200 to 10,500 feet. You can also see the X flag here. That means that there is a minimum crossing altitude, but it only applies for the squat on Victor 8 if you are coming northeast. So if you were flying in the different direction, and we would be flying at 10,500 feet. That means that we would already need to cross the squat at 12,000 feet to be safe. Normally, when you have a change in altitude, for example here at Paces, you have a change from 11,500 to 13,000. That means that you can fly 11,500 all the way to Paces and only start climbing at Paces to reach 13,000. Only if you can maintain at least 200 feet per nautical mile. If your climb performance is lower, then obviously you need to start climbing sooner. So we would reach squat, then continue at minimum 10,500 feet. We should cross squat at least at 10,600 feet as per the chart, departure chart. Since we are coming westbound, that means that we need to file for even numbers, even thousands, and the first higher even thousand is 12,000 feet. So that's what I will be flying. Then we continue, and I can see that here we have MEA of 10,000 feet. So at our 12,000, I'm safe enough. And when I reach arch, and given the fact that I would be cleared for the approach, then I could start descending at arch or before, depending on the ATC instructions. If there is no ATC, obviously we would determine ourselves. So that is the route planning. So I'll just finish it up. I calculated this, so this will be my route. And I believe that here also it bears to kind of file a flight plan directly, because since the new version of 3.8, we are no longer able to file a flight plan directly through this button. If I press it, it will take me to this website, and we need to file a flight plan. So I'll just quickly go over it so you can see that. So my call sign is Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie. Flight rules IFR, aircraft type PA-24. Wake category, I'm obviously light. Equipment, I can either choose ICAO or FAA standard. FAA is much simpler for me, so I'll just type A, because I simulate the aircraft that doesn't have a GPS. Departure, off block time, half an hour maybe, so 2020. Altitude 12,000, airspeed 140, arrival, alternate. Do we need an alternate today? I'll just get the weather here, and someone tells me if we need an alternate today. Don't speak everyone at once.
No alternate today.
Think not.
Yes, we don't need it. You can always file one, obviously, but it's not required. Because 1 hour before and 1 hour after our arrival, in that time span, we have a ceiling that is forecasted above 2,000 feet, and we have a visibility that is above 3 statute miles. All right, So where we have that, so I will not file any alternate. En route time is 0055 minutes. Fuel endurance, I have 2 hours and 45 minutes of fuel. Route details, I'll just take this and copy. And then I don't really need to fill anything else, and I can just file it. Hopefully. Flight plan filed, and immediately I got pinged by vPilot telling me that I should squawk 0044. We don't have any controller online right now, but we should already have this squawk instead of the generic one. So if any ATC comes online, we are already squawking this one, and they will have it on their strip as well. So that was filing of a flight plan. We covered the route planning, departure. Okay, so obviously we are briefing something here, which is fine, but the weather can change, so always check it before you depart. We filed a flight plan, runway and departure procedure. So what kind of runway are we going to use? We have a wind off, and it will be changing right now, but an hour ago it was 160 at 3, so theoretically runway 8 would be slightly better, but it's like headwind or tailwind of half a knot. So I will take runway 26 unless the wind has more than like 5 knot tailwind. We already set what to fly here. VFR departure / IFR clearance in the air. So today it's very much possible to request IFR clearance already in the air. And the advantage of that is that you don't need to listen and read back this story that is the IFR clearance on the ground. The IFR clearance in the air is usually much shorter and more simple, and plus you will not be blocking other IFR traffic departing the field. We have the CRAFT acronym that we should write down on the paper if we have an ATC and we are receiving IFR clearance by voice. We would fill it in, so we would under C we would write down our clearance limit. In most cases, majority, almost in all cases, that will be our destination airport, but in rare occurrences it might be something else. It might be just a fix en route and so on. Then we have a route, so we fill in what route we are cleared for. So whatever they tell us, whatever vectors, whatever headings we need to fly, and then they would usually say as filed if they are able to clear us for the route we filed. Altitude, that's self-explanatory. Frequency is the departure frequency you should tune after you are told to, or in case of departing untowered field, when you have your final call on the CTAF, then it's time to switch to that frequency you were given as part of the clearance. And transponder setting for me, this will be 0044. For you, it's gonna be something else. One in, one out rule. Yes, so only one aircraft can be cleared for the IFR procedure, either departure or arrival. Radio calls. Yeah, so this example is if you are getting IFR clearance on the ground. If you are getting it in the air, it's much shorter. You'll just basically repeat this call. So facility call sign where you are, meaning your lateral position and your vertical, your altitude, and then you need IFR to a certain destination, and they would clear you, and you just read that back. If it is on the ground, then you need to ask for a before you take off, you need to ask for a release. And this is something that they would what they would give you. They would give you time. They would tell you that you're released for departure. They would inform you at which time the clearance is void, so it's no longer valid. And if not departed by that, you should tell them what are your intentions. The only thing you need to read back if it is on the ground is that you are released for departure and the clearance void time. And of course, frequency change approved at the end. Now, seeing that we probably won't have any traffic, ATC, then we would normally announce ourselves. Warning, from 1st of March, I believe you all know it, but the US are transitioning and trialing the usage of the real CTAF frequencies. So it won't be 122.8 like broadwide, and every airport, for every airport and local traffic, you need to tune the CTAF. So how do you find CTAF? There are multiple options. One of them is obviously on the charts, and not really here, but if you go to VFR chart, this is the C, which is for communication, and you can see that Rifle Garfield has a CTAF frequency of 122.8. So in this case, it's the same as the general VATSIM Unicom, but you need to check that. Our destination, voila, we are lucky today, again, 122.8. So for this flight, nothing really changes, just be aware of that. For towered fields, the CTAF will be the tower frequency. In this case, it will be 118.1 here for Grand Junction Regional. And it might also happen that there is like more tower frequencies, and in this case you need to look the so-called VATSIM IPE, which would list those. The easier option is to go to vpilot and just type .ctaf and airport. Okay, no IPE data, so this doesn't work. So let's see if this Grand Junction has a CTAF frequency. CTAF, KGGT. Yeah, so here it will tell me that the CTAF frequency for Kilo Golf Juliet Tango is 118.1. And evidently, not every airport will be able to get the CTAF frequency by typing this. So, but in that case, it will be on the sectional. All right. So that's CTAF. Now, this is the table I was speaking about. Do you want me to go over this? Because I believe that we have only people that already listened to me last time about this. So just speak up if you want me to go over this again. If not, I'll just move forward. Right, moving forward. En route and arrival. Yeah, this is basically it's very important on an IFR flight to keep track of the progress. So you have your navlog. You should verify at those fixes that you are like there in time. Kind of cross-check and yeah, basically that you are not lost. And if something is bad, then you can address it as soon as possible. As part of the arrival, it's not an approach as of yet. You would already be given some approach that you should expect, probably be also cleared for the approach. Here I again typed something that you could hear if you are being cleared for the VR8 alpha approach. So let's say that I'm flying at 12,000 feet happily along my route, and then I get this instruction: November 123 Alpha Bravo, cross arch at or above 10,000, cleared VOR alpha approach. I would read that back. Cross arch at or above 10,000, cleared VOR alpha approach, November 123 Alpha Bravo. And now, what does it mean that I should cross arch at or above 10,000 feet? Let's say that we are flying here, and I will bring up the approach plate. So if I am at 12,000 feet at arch, am I comfortable enough to descend all the way to 7,100 by the time I have reversed my course and I am at the Thole? If my answer is yes, I will be able to do that. Then I don't see any reason why to descend sooner to 10,000. If I found out, or if I calculate that I wouldn't be able to comfortably descend from 12,000 to 7,000 on this lateral path, then I would elect to already cross arch at 10,000. 10,000. Now, if I elect that I am fine crossing arch at my 12,000 feet, then I'll just read that back as normal, and then I am silent. They already know what I'm doing, and crossing arch I can start descending, or even later if I want to, if I calculate it. If I find out, or if I want to descend before reaching arch, I can still start the descent all the way to 10,000. Only now I need to let the ATC know. And I'll just correct the slide here because so if the TOD starts before reaching arch. And it's as simple as just telling them November 123 Alpha Bravo leaving 12,000 descending to 10,000. So just informing them that you indeed started the descent. All right, and now we come to the approach itself. Before I brief the chart, I'll just go over the phraseology that you should expect from the ATC. At some point, probably before you cross arch, maybe after, they may ask you that because you are still flying and you are connected, you are tuned in to the ATC's facility. But since this is an untowered field, at some point you need to tune the CETA frequency so you can tell the local traffic, that you are coming, so they know. So the ATC should actually and needs to actually hand you over or hand you off, terminate your radar services. And there are like two ways how to do that, either the short one or the longer one, or any combination in between. They can do that already at arch. They can do it when you are turned already inbound. At any point, you just need to tell them that the frequency change is approved. And then don't forget to call them on the ground, or if you can see the airport in the air, you are comfortable enough, then you can cancel the IFR plan already in the air. And that will also allow them to clear another IFR traffic inbound. So let's go to the chart. So you can see that this approach is not bound to any particular runway, and the reason is quite obvious because the final approach course is perpendicular to the runway. So the only minima are circling minima. DME is required, or you need to have the GPS that will tell you where you are. Circling is not available to runways 15 and 33. If you look at the chart, these are like some very small runway here, kind of displaced from the airport. So you are not allowed to do the circling maneuver to either of these runways. Helicopter visibility, yeah, that I don't care. And procedure is not available when restricted zone here is in operation. And this is one last thing. So restricted 6413, do we have it on the IFR chart? Probably not. So I'll switch to Denver. And we have restricted 6413. Altitude is unlimited and time of use by NOTAM, 48 hours in advance. I checked here in the morning. We have a NOTAM search. And if that works, I want to do geography, CNI. Yes, this one, radius 10 nautical miles and search. There's quite a lot of NOTAMs, but if I just sort by class and I can see airspace types, then this would look like this. Airspace are something. And if I read correctly, there is no airspace R6431 anywhere. So this airspace is not activated. And in any case on VATSIM, it wouldn't be. So that's the airspace, and we can go back to the chart. Missed approach, we have some ASOS, which is the weather. We have Denver center frequencies, and the Unicum or CTAF is again 122.8. So arriving at Arch. So how many miles do I have until I am back on course? This is 8.4, then we have another 6, which is 12.4, and then some, I don't need to really wait, like I don't need to fly here. I can easily start, you know, the course reversal already at Foul here, because that is the fix. But let's say that I fly for 30 more seconds and something like that. How long it can take me? 30 minutes, so 2 minutes at 120 knots. That's another 4 miles. So at this point, I'm at 18 miles at least from Arch. I will fly at least 18 miles. I need to descend 5,000 feet in 18 miles. That's easy, right? Because usually it is like 3 to 1. So by that I know that I can start descending at Arch at maybe 500, 700 feet per minute. I will do that calculation more closely. So 18 miles at, let's say I'm still doing 140 knots. Let's see. Can just take the calculator. And obviously, the important thing is ground speed, and it will be slightly different, you know, as far as the distance goes. Then the ground speed is important. But for a ballpark figure, and why doesn't this work? They cancelled my ability to do this. So let's do it normal calculator. So I have 18 miles. Okay, now we have that. I will line up the 60 arrow with 140 here. Oh, they improved it. Oh, they improved it and that shows where I, nice. And then 18 miles, I will cover 18 miles in 7.5 minutes. Right, 7.5 minutes, which means that in 7.5 minutes I need to descend 5,000 feet. So 5,000 feet, 7.5 minutes. That's descent rate of about 600, 700 feet per minute. So I will try to maintain 700 feet per minute to be on the safe side. And at all points, obviously, I need to observe the minimum en route, minimum altitude I cannot descend below 7,900 on this section and this section to Thole. When I reach Thole outbound, the vertical profile says that I can start descending to 7,600, and then when I am finally established on the inbound course, I can descend to 7,100. So fly here to this VOR, make a right turn. When the DME reads 6, I know that I can begin my course reversal, or I can fly a little bit and then begin that. You just need to make sure that at any point you remain within 10 nautical miles from this Thole fix and not wander any farther, because then you would breach the protected area of this altitude. When we are coming back and crossing Thole again, it will be our final approach fix, which is known by this Maltese cross here. And then we have 6 nautical miles left all the way to VOR. And from here we can start descending further. For category A aircraft, it will be 5,120 feet. For category B, it will be 5,200 feet. When we have the runway in sight, we can do any maneuver that will position us on the runway. So let's say that you are coming in and you see that runway from far ahead, then you can just discontinue this course and make either this maneuver with that maneuver. You can even overfly that and like circle back. So anything that puts you on the runway. Just make sure that you communicate on the CETA frequency what you are doing and use standard VFR terminology for that, so people that are not IFR certified can understand what you are doing. If you tell them that you are, if you simply tell them, I'm this Cessna 172 on the VOR Alpha approach, they don't know where you are at all. So tell them you are, for example, 10 miles northwest of the airport at 7,800 feet, something like that. That's much more informative. If for any reason you are not able to make the runway, you need to climb to 7,100, then make a climbing left turn to 8,700, direct MOAB VOR and hold, and continue climb and hold to 8,700 if you are not there already. From this procedure, you can see that the entry will be the parallel entry to this hold. So you should like overfly this, align with the course, make like a teardrop here or like a course reversal, and then continue holding. Any questions? If not, then let's go flying. And happy flying. Happy flying.
Happy flying.
Happy flying.
Happy flying.
All right. So full mixture. We have an altitude airport, so we won't use full mixture for startup, but for priming the engine we can. So observing the fuel pressure rising, turn off. Temperature is about 5 degrees, so 3 strokes. Here we go. Log it up. I will lean the mixture a little bit. And let's start the engine. Beacon is on. Knitos. Everything is clear. Clear prop. Nice. Observing oil pressure in the green. We'll lean the mixture even more. Avionics. Navigation lights. That will be 000044. And on standby for now. Yep, that's CTAF. So let's see. I want to do the procedure, and I think that the visual should be there as well. Runway 26, yes.
Rifle traffic, November 187 Victor Delta, type Bristol B23, taxi runway 26, Rifle.
Alright, so that's there, and that's enough for me. So what else I need to tune? I will obviously need... Here we have the 20 and 37, so by this time that we are at squat, we should already be using Grand Junction. So 112.4, so let's tune it in. 112.4. Junctions. It's junction DME, so hopefully it will work as a VOR in this simulator. Otherwise, don't know what to do. And then, as on the standby, I will enter MOAP, so 109.8. And I will also put 109.8, 109.8 on the second one, and I can put it into active. And actually, I want the MOAP in the active as well, so 112.4. That's actually active, because then I want to do the distance here, distance reading. All temperature is in the green, that's fine. Let's review the latest weather here at the airport. 107 at 4, 10 miles, altimeter 29099er. That's there. Clear that. No filling. And the elevation of the airport is 5537. 55, yeah, that agrees, which is good. Still no ATC online.
Rifle traffic, Comanche 6529 Lima, taxi the runway 26, Rifle.
So I guess we can go. Can I go this way? Probably not. Rifle traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie Piper Comanche on the eastern stand, taxiing to runway 26, Rifle. Parking brake is off.
Rifle traffic, November 36 Foxtrot, type down cardiac on the ramp, taxiing to runway 26 behind the Comanche, Rifle.
Rifle traffic, Cessna 692 Delta, taking off runway 26, straight out departure, Rifle.
will have a slight tailwind, but it's not that much. There is a Cessna. Oh. I kind of crooked. See from external view. It's kind of strange how I see that. See how the engine will do at run-up. So it seems to... Let's clear it a little bit. Stay like this, because that's actually against the wind. So holding the brakes. Try to play with mixture to get a better, the best horsepower, or brake horsepower. Like this. Let's test magnetos. So first I will check the left magneto.
November and Victor Delta. Take off runway 26 right.
It's quite a lot of drop. The second one. Alright. So by experience, okay, now I checked that one for the second time and now it was good. So that's fine. Let's cycle the prop. So initially when I switched only to right magneto, I had 200 RPM drop, but the second attempt actually cleared that up. It won't be that problematic. Right. Now I will roll to 1500 RPM and check the carb heat. Yes. And idle. Alright. Flight controls. Full range. Yes. Alright. So I believe we can go. So, trim, neutral, fuel pump, pitot heat, strobe lights, landing lights. Alright. Rifle traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie, taking off runway 26, straight out departure. Rifle. Nobody there. Today we don't have any flaps, that's fine.
Tropical Forest and Victor Delta departing west 6,000 feet. Last call, Rifle.
Rifle traffic, Comanche 6529 Lima, departing runway 26, straight out departure, Rifle.
charts on my second monitor so I can reference them. And fuel pump off, landing lights off. Rifle traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie after departure, about 6,700 feet altitude and continuing east. Final call, Rifle.
Rifle traffic, Kodak 36 Foxtrot, departing runway 26, straight out, Rifle traffic.
Aren't we flying west? Or?
Rifle traffic, Comanche 6529 Lima, about 3 miles west of the field, 6,800 feet, departing to the west, last call, Rifle.
Yeah, we are departing to the west. Have I said east before?
Yeah, you said continuing east. I was.
Ah, yeah, okay. So I, again, made a moron out of myself.
No worries. I was a bit confused, maybe.
Oh,
I did something wrong.
Good catch.
He's taking the scenic route.
Yes. So I configured my rudder trim so I don't need to hold my rudder all the time. And now it flies wonderfully. Okay. I need to use that in the turns, obviously. And I'm preaching how it's important to do the navlog and so on. I forgot to copy mine. So we are 4 minutes in the air.
Rifle traffic, Kodak 36 Foxtrot, upwind, runway 26, 6,800, climbing 12,000 feet, departing west, final call, Rifle traffic.
Rifle traffic, Piper Comanche, departing straight out, runway 26, Rifle traffic.
It's climbing beautifully. What about our airport? Still see that? And we have a line of aircraft. So at Yurdu, well, I should have already been top of climb. Well, it doesn't climb this fast at this altitude. That doesn't really matter that much. When reaching squat, then I will need to make sure that I follow a course radial 045. So radial 045 should be this, but not yet. Still climbing. We're almost at 12,000 feet. Clouds are not there, which is fine. Okay, so landing lights are off. Gear is off right now. Strobes are on. Yes, everything looks fine. Almost 12,000 feet, so then we'll accelerate a bit. Center the rudder trim. And use some elevator trim.
Rifle traffic, Piper Comanche. Approximately 3 miles out, about 9,000 feet till final call.
Reduce the power. At 12,000 feet, let's say that I will be doing 2,000 RPM. I will lean the mixture a bit.
Rifle area traffic, Kodiak 36 Foxtrot, climbing to 14,000 for traffic separation. Rifle area traffic.
Right, we are at Yurdu and time 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Yurdu 9.5, and it could have switching the wrong one. It could have 1 minute. Okay, let's start like that. All right. 56% brake horsepower, that's about what I counted with, so that's good. Let's synchronize the head direction gyro. We're flying straight at level 2-2, so it's just slightly off. Very good. DME is 40. If I look at the chart, the squat is at DME Is it 37? No, 31. 31. Just slightly reduce power. Aircraft flies beautifully today. It's totally hands-off. Very slight corrections from time to time. Maybe I'll just add a little bit of right rudder trim. Does it do anything? Yes. Oh, that's too much. I don't know about you guys, but I have a totally smooth air today.
Yeah, me too.
It just keeps altitude, heading, hands off, and I can just enjoy the views. Very nice.
Do you want to try switching the autopilot off?
What is that thing on A? Starts with A.
Yeah, just checking.
Oh yeah, sorry, turning it off now.
Now the autopilot is like great tool. I have nothing against that. But when I'm flying, I want to enjoy the control of the aircraft, so usually don't use it. When I'm doing maybe some 3-hour flights, then yes, I will use autopilot, but not like this. So, at what time should we be at squad? In 7 minutes. Let's check. We're already doing 4, then 4 minutes. So 3 more minutes, and here it says just 1 minute. What's wrong? I started the timer late, but not this late. We have a ground speed of 129, and my calculated ground speed was 111. Am I flying too fast? Oh yeah, I'm doing 10 more knots than I planned for. Doing 150 knots. Airspeed, true airspeed. Well, I'll be there sooner. Okay, 5 minutes. And now I should be flying along the airway. The next is Patuk, which is 20 DME. Yes, 20 DME is Patuk. And I didn't reset the timer, so 40 seconds. attention. Okay, let's switch the tanks. So left main and right off. Three and a half more miles. Since we are nearing the Grand Junction Airport, I believe I'll just take the altimeter from there. Grand Junction Airport has an altimeter setting 29098, so almost what I have. Just one below. Deviating from course. DME. .4 2 1 and 0, so 4:33 plus 42 seconds, so let's say 5:15, something like that. So I'll just do 5.3. Now, next stop is the Grand Junction VOR. 11 minutes more. The scenery is really great here. Let's check the section of what's here. Yeah, here we have Grand Junction Airport. time to sync the gyro, so I have about, to keep it straight, 235. 235. That's good enough. I'm going on a left tank, which has slightly more fuel according to the gauge, and the right tank. So I'll probably do the right tank for the approach. When we reach the Grand Junction VOR, we'll just slightly alter course to our right on the radio 232, and then it's gonna be time to plan our approach. As already stated in the beginning, I will try to keep 12,000 feet all the way to Arch, and then start descending under controlled manner at this speed. And I will try to make that descend at least like 700 feet per minute, and we'll see if that will put me at a correct altitude, at a correct spot. See if I can do some nice outside picture. Probably can. Still 9 miles. Almost 9 miles, because this is land distance, not the ground distance, obviously, but it's not that much different. Yeah, it's not that much different. That's the correct English expression. Hello, lady. Oh, I have... Is it a guy or a girl? That's a guy, I think. Right, 6.5. We're getting near. So in the meantime, let's just tune the second one to 232. Let's say here and 1, 2, 232. So the needle gets more sensitive as we get nearer to our VOR. Now let's try to make sure that we keep it centered as much as possible. Center. Very sensitive at this point, so don't want to do abrupt corrections, but just keep it straight. And a second now, and we lost the signal. 926. Okay, I'm puzzled. Should have turned right. Looks like I'm turning left again. Well, let's recapture. So 926, which is 9.4. Our next point is Zuxo, which is 13 DME on a radial 232. It should take me about 7 minutes. It's gonna be a little bit less. are in the air 32 minutes. Time en route was estimated as 55 minutes, but obviously that's too above the field. It doesn't count the approach. So I estimate that we have another half an hour of flight before us. Until finally we'll be settling the bird down. If I look at the sectional, then at the Arch intersection, there should be the beginning of the Arches National Park. Probably not really be any particularly distinctive here in the MSFS. In real life, it must be a sight. Looking as how others are doing and stopped flying a little bit here, so let's get back on track. So 12, one more mile until my point here. So 6.2. Alright, now it says top of descent. Yeah, obviously that's sooner because it doesn't count with my approach here. So, but I'm definitely not gonna descend at this point. So I have 10 plus 3, that's 13 minutes to arch. And I believe I can start briefing the approach. For that, I will bring the plate here. Let's cancel. All right. So at Arch, I will fly a 242 course to Moab VOR. Then turn right and fly 298 course from the Moab VOR, all the way descending not below 7,900, after passing Thole, which is the point that is 6 DME on 298 radial from Moab VOR, I will fly for, let's say, 30 more seconds until turning left to 253 and then turning back around, flying like for 1 minute and turning back around to 073 and joining the radial 298 inbound, meaning the final approach course of 118, and descending all the way to 7,100. At 6 DME, I will continue my descent towards the airport. Circling minima are 5,120. If I review the weather, then the weather currently is the winds are from 290 at 7, so from the west, and that actually means that I will be using runway 21. So when flying here, if I can make it, I will make a left turn and join the right downwind for runway 21 and land. The altimeter settings right now is 299.1, so I'll already tune that in. Arch intersection can be recognized as being 40 DME from Grand Junction. At Arch, I will also tune in the second VOR. Just very quickly. OIB, that's good. Cancel. The scenery is just breathtaking here. Those mountains look really magnificent. See some aircraft lights in front of me. For some reason, when flying these IFR flights that consist of just straight legs, it seems longer than if we are flying like VFR and turn every now and then.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's quite longer today. Luckily, we have breathtaking sceneries.
Yeah.
An
I think
autopilot.
there's just less to do on average in the en route section of an IFR flight than on an VFR flight.
Yeah, Do you keep times and at every intersection or every fix that is along the route? That's something at least to occupy yourself with.
No, I don't fly slant alpha, so there's really not much to do for me.
Well,
except
even
enjoy the scenery.
yeah, but even in flying GPS, you should just mark those from those navlog those intersections and fixes, and just monitor your times and fuel consumption and so on.
What I do is I do cross-check with the DME and radial readouts from the VOR.
At least something.
I had some issues with following the radial at first, so I think that some VOR training is in order.
Yeah, well, practice makes perfect, so there's only one thing to do, practice. Wait until we fly the NDB routes.
Is that in plans soon?
Sorry, come again?
Is that in plans soon? Or
not sure, because there are no NDB routes in this part of the world. But when we were at Florida, I was flying one of those very old NDB routes. It was fun.
All right.
Okay, time for more pictures, and we have just 10 nautical miles from the arch. I'll already prepare myself for the approach. I will just move it to another screen. So it's gonna be 242. Obviously I will turn this one as well when I get there. When I switch the frequency. Seven more miles. I believe that this is already Arches National Park, stretching further south. And at this point we are about 15 miles from the airport, if I'm correct. Let's fly. Let's fly along the by the navigation radio 1. Just switch this one, because there I could already switch frequency and see where I'm going. And I'm still flying this one for now for 4 more miles. Before starting the approach, I will switch the tank to right. Directional gyro is synchronized. All engine instrumentation in green. And we are nearing 2 more miles. Slightly to the left. Let's say we are there already, so once we align with this course, we'll just fly it. Reset 12.5. And let's see, do we have 242? I believe we have 242. Let's also switch the second one. Yes. It's too much. And let's start descending. Carb heat on, because we have quite low power. The next turn will be to 298, so the second one will be to 298. We're descending too slowly, too slow, so let's just reduce that power a little bit more and induce a greater rate of descent. Just too much. We have the airport right below us, or in front of us and below us. Yeah, the Arches National Park is not very impressive from above here. Start making that turn. I can descend to 7,900 at most. This stage. Let's turn on landing lights because we have some oncoming traffic. Oh, what happened? .2. Well, since already, yeah, 7,900. Can actually slow down. 6.2. So let's make that reversal. And in that case, we can start descending to 7,600. Timer, start.
More traffic, Kodak 36 Foxtrot, around 4 miles west, 5,500, entering right downwind runway 21, more traffic.
Ah, 7,600, not lower. And slow down. If 120 is a good speed, so let's try to keep that. Okay, there is a minute, so let's make a standard rate turn.
More traffic, Kodak 36 Foxtrot, right downwind runway 21, more up.
Fuel pump on.
More traffic, Kodak 36 Foxtrot, turning right base, runway 21, more up.
Canyonlands traffic, Oscar Kilo Alpha Charlie is Piper Comanche, about 9 miles west of the airfield at 7,600 feet. We'll be entering right downwind runway 21 Canyonlands. Okay, I'm established on the final course, so I can descend to 7,100.
Mark traffic, Kodak 36 Foxtrot, turning final runway 21, full stop, more traffic.
And when I cross 6 miles on the ME, I can start descending to 5,120. And that's now. Can already see the airport, which is good. So airport elevation is 4,579ers, so traffic pattern altitude about 5,500 or 5,600, so let's do that. I know. Okay, so actually let's add the RPM. It will help us in our descent. The mixture will be a little bit cracked or on the lean side because we have altitude above 4,000.
More traffic, Kodak 36 Foxtrot, runway 21 located, taxi to parking, more.
We have winds from the west, so tailwinds right now. So we need to descend a little bit more. And if I'm mistaken, this should be the runway. Let's make a turn. Canyonlands traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie entering a right downwind for runway 21 Canyonlands. Okay, gear down, check the brakes, flaps 1. Full prop. Descend. Canyonlands traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie turning right base runway 21 Canyonlands.
Canyonlands traffic, Comanche 6529 Lima is about 5 miles to the northwest. We'll be inbound for a right downwind runway 21 Canyonlands.
Canyonlands traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie, turning final runway 21, full stop landing, Canyonlands. And carb heat off. I'll stay at flaps 2.
Canyonlands traffic, Comanche 6529 Lima is right downwind, runway 21 Canyonlands.
Canyonlands traffic, Oscar Kilo Golf Papa Charlie, runway 21 is vacated and taxiing to parking, Canyonlands. Okay, am I taxiing the right direction? Oh yeah, I am. So time of the flight, 1 hour and 4 minutes.
Canyonlands traffic, Sierra Delta Lima type Comanche is 7 miles to the northwest on VOR Alpha.
Canyonlands traffic, Comanche 6529 Lima, right base 21 Canyonlands. Canyonlands traffic, Comanche 6529 Lima, turning final for 21, full stop Canyonlands.
Canyonlands traffic, Comanche Sierra Delta Lima is turning for a right downwind for runway 21 Canyonlands traffic.
Right, parking brake. Avionics off. Fuel pump. Yeah, fuel pump is off, obviously. Navigation lights off. Gear handle off. Or gear switch off. And what else? Yeah, I guess a little bit of power. Master off. And engine off and beacon off. Yes. All right. Let's do the analysis there. So first of all, I'll just enter my flight plan. We have clear CI. Okay, CNY, yes. Nothing 1 for squad 5, sure. So like this. Create flight plan. Oh. Yeah, wrong airport. Okay, so let's try that again. KRIL. Now that's better. Here, select departure. No. Departure procedure. It's not really squad 4, really. It's older stuff. Then we have Rifle, IFR, transition arch, right? Okay, I need to enter it right. Insert. Okay. So show departure. Insert. So this looked good, but that was according to the map. And then following, cross the VOR spot on. And a little bit of corrections. And then from arch, be following this to the VOR again, cross exactly at that. Join the course at Thal, initiate the course reversal, and then came back, and here we already saw the field, so there was no need to keep centered on the VOR and enter the right-hand traffic. Right-hand traffic for this. All right, looks fine. So thank you very much for joining me today. Yeah, I finally see some chat. So if you're still here, Blueback22, yeah, you are right. It was almost boring, as I said. If it were not for the views, it probably would have been, but I enjoyed the flight nonetheless. I hope that you did too. And see you all next time. Bye bye.